Every spring, San Antonio comes alive with the sights and sounds of Fiesta, a celebration which brings a kaleidoscope of colors, flavors, and music to the city streets.
So today we are in Market Square, which is in the heart of downtown San Antonio. We're a few blocks away from the Alamo, a few blocks away from the Hemisphere, right? Really, we are in a very historic place. And every year, Fiesta, takes place here and in the surrounding areas.
Ada Ortega is the Director of Public Affairs, Communications, and Sustainability for Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages. She describes what makes Fiesta so special to the city.
Fiesta is a big, lively celebration here in San Antonio that has been part of the community for over 100 years, right? It has a very long history, and people really enjoy coming out because it brings everyone together. You have everything from nonprofits to corporations coming together to celebrate Fiesta, right? And really commemorating the Battle of the Flowers, but now really ultimately turning into more of a celebration for the city.
Viva Fiesta!
Viva!
Everywhere you look, you'll find Fiesta goers with Coca-Cola beverages in hand. But CCSWB's presence at Fiesta doesn't end there. This year, Ada and her team are asking what happens to those bottles after the last sips have been savored.
Today we are setting up our recycling activation at Fiesta de los Reyes. As you can see, all of the concession stands, our product is sold everywhere. So we said, well, where are those bottles going, right? Where ultimately are they ending up at? So we figured, right, that we could capture back those bottles and just make it part of our sustainability priorities.
At the activation, Fiesta attendees can exchange a bottle or can for a ticket. Then, those tickets can be exchanged for Coca-Cola swag, including one highly coveted item.
We have everything from Coca-Cola sunglasses to, totes, and again, our biggest prize is the medal right here. Obviously, Fiesta medals are a big part of Fiesta. People, started getting very creative. Organizations, corporations, everybody started making their own Fiesta medal. We really enjoyed it because we really get to put a message, right, on it. And this year's it aligns with our recycling activation, which is, it says recycle me, right? We want to make sure that people know that they can come and recycle their bottles with us. We are very committed to bringing every bottle back, right? And at the moment, we are, recycling 7 out of the 10 bottles that we produce.
It sounds simple. Drink, recycle, reuse. But Abraham Tueme, the Director of Sustainability for CCSWB, knows recycling a plastic bottle is complicated and has a high margin for error.
When you recycle a bottle, the very basic process is that bottle will find its way into a materials recovery facility most of the time. They're going to wash the bottles, they're going to run them through a mill so that you have the little flake, and then run that flake through an extruder and create pellets, which is the origin of all plastic materials. So that whole process, looks pretty simple, but there's a lot of things that can go wrong in the process. So what we do when we do these events, we make sure that there's all the steps are covered and that everybody knows when the material is going to be delivered to the next partner. So by doing that and by having that understanding and that transparency in our supply chain, we're able to make sure that the bottles that we collect today will end up being recycled.
Through this recycling activation, CCSWB can capture much more recyclable product that would otherwise go to waste. However, taking on an event as big as Fiesta involves careful planning and partnerships. Last year, CCSWB piloted the activation at Sips and Sounds, a concert event in Austin, Texas.
At the concert, you could buy our product, and once you were done with the product, you could take it to our recycling activation and redeem it for really cool swag. So it was really successful, right? We were actually able to capture a lot of that plastic and have it returned.
Osprey is one of our partners, and they're going to sort the material, and they're going to then take that material to the end markets to make sure that material is not lost. As part of our relationship with Osprey, we keep looking for ways to bring them to different events to improve on the existing things. Like Sips and Sounds last year, we did a really good project, but we realized, this was very controlled, a very controlled environment because we was only 6,000 people. Now we're doing it for 2.5 million in Fiesta. So we need extra hands.
CCSWB is looking to scale these initiatives and has recently partnered with American Airlines Center in Dallas to improve their recycling program.
We came in and they already had some recycling bins in the venue. What they were telling us was there were some issues with contamination. That is pretty common, especially in venues like that. So we figured that we needed to create some additional support for those programs. The way that we did it, we brought in smart recycling bins developed by a company called Smart Sort AI. And those recycling bins, they scan an item as you're walking towards them and getting ready to discard an item. They scan whatever is in your hand, and they'll tell you this is recyclable or this is trash. Sometimes it takes a good amount of time to make the change. And really, what we wanted to do is we want to make sure that when we bring in something, we have thought it through, and we know that that's going to make sense for the venue.
At Fiesta, the party continues. And with each Fiesta medal exchanged for recycling tickets, CCSWB gets one step closer to their goal of recycling every bottle they produce. These initiatives are an investment, but one CCSWB knows is worth the return.
Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages is really committed to empowering communities, right, through education and sustainability. And this really falls in line with our sustainability priorities of making sure that people are being educated about how to recycle, right, about how to make sure that we're taking care of our environment. And ultimately, knowing that by recycling, we're going to create a world without waste.
I love it. Yeah, I think it's a great privilege because I wouldn't be able to do this if the company didn't have the commitment to make it happen. It's a cost for the organization, not only to use recycled content, but also investing in the recycling programs in these events. By meeting those commitments and making sure that we're doing that every step of the way, we're also kind of pushing the industry to make decisions around that line. And hopefully, if we all work together, this becomes, an issue of the past.